Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rokah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well. And salutations and much love to the rest of you sincere Akim, pushing word and truth and sincerity. This is the cleric Izar coming at you with another lesson. And this is going to be almost a part two or / part two to the last lesson I've done on the color of the original Hebrews. It's not necessarily a retraction, but I wanted to include this just in case anybody was a little confused. I always got to think of a beginner mindset for anyone that's coming into the truth and getting an understanding of this thing that is part of ours. Basically, in my last lesson, I titled it The Color of the Original Hebrews, but to a lot of people, to surprise, is they're not really familiar with the term Hebrew at all. So I'm going to just bring it out here. Bear with me just a moment. I just want to bring out the little quick definition here. And let me see here. Just a moment here. Bear with me. Please forgive me here. Because Google is quite not that accurate. Because when you read the dictionary, according to Oxford on Google, it says Hebrew, a member of an ancient people living in what is now Israel and Palestine, which is incorrect. We're living now. Even though there are some there that are linked in with the original lineage of the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, here we go. Reading on. And according to biblical tradition, descended from the patriarch Jacob, which is correct, grandson of Abraham, correct. After the Exodus, they established the kingdoms of Israel and Judah, correct. And the scriptures and traditions from the basis of the, it reads here, the Jewish religion, okay, which is somewhat incorrect because Jewish is pertaining to the Jews, and we really don't call ourselves Jewish. We are the original Jews. But of course, there's other tribes besides that one tribe, because the term Judah only goes back to Judah. The other 11 tribes are separate, and they have different patriarchs under the sons of Jacob. Okay, but the second part of this definition describes it as a Semitic language used by the ancient Hebrews and in modern Israel, which is also incorrect as well in modern Israel as well, because some of the people in modern Israel use this dialect called Yiddish, which doesn't really derive from Hebrew, or it may, I'm not really sure, but it's not the original Hebrew. Okay, but to sum it up, it is mentioned in the scriptures. And I remember coming into the truth and trying to explain this to friends, family, and acquaintances. And I had one individual to try to explain that Yahushai didn't speak Hebrew; he spoke Aramaic, and that's the actual language that was used in the movie The Passion of Christ. Okay, and I want to bring out the definition for Aramaic, and it reads as a Semitic language, and Semitic comes from the word Shem, which one of the sons of Noah. A Semitic language, a Syrian dialect of which was used as a lingua franca in the Near East from the 6th century BC. It gradually replaced Hebrew as a language of the Jewish people in those areas and was established, supplanted by Arabic in the 7th century AD. Okay. Aramaic is still spoken by scattered communities of Jews, Mandeans, and some Christians. Small groups of people still speak Aramaic in different parts of the Middle East. The wars of the last 2 centuries have made many speakers leave their homes to live in different places around the world. Okay, now, I came across this particular article, Yahushua was black, or Jesus was black, period, as it reads. The opinion, Jesus was black, that's reality, and it's healthier for black people to be black-centric, which includes rejecting the whitewashed image of our brother Jesus, or the correct name should be Yahushua. And basically also I wanted to mention here, just Spirit just came out, but this article is somewhat incorrect. There's a little part of it that talks about how Yahushua didn't have a father in his life, which I don't know where this author got that from, because he clearly does not is not familiar with the scriptures, but as far as the evidence that I brought out in my last lesson, he did bring out Revelation 1, verse 14. So I guess it was just the algorithm that brought this article up, made me want to go into this lesson. But it just shows you how we're falling into that particular season of the man of sin being revealed. You can go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3, for it reads, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." The New Living Translation goes into it and reads as such, "Don't be fooled by what they say, for that day will not come until there is a great rebellion against the Most High, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the one who brings destruction." And the one who brings destruction is going to be Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay? That's what's coming out in the truth today. Okay, but back to the Hebrew language. This is mentioned in the scriptures as far back as the I'm going to go into the New Testament. Okay, just to show you. Acts 22, verse 2. Acts chapter 22, verse 2, for reads, "And when they heard that he spake in the Hebrew tongue to them, they kept the more silence, and he saith." Okay, now, this person that they're speaking of, let me just bring this out because I don't want to hack it up here. Bear with me just a moment, please. Acts chapter 22, verse 2. Yep, I was going to say Paul, but I wanted to make sure. Okay, this is Paul's defense to the crowd he's speaking to. Verse 1 of Acts chapter 22 reads, "Men, brethren, and fathers, hear ye my defense, which I make now unto you." Then it goes into verse 2. And when they heard that he spake in the Hebrew tongue to them, they kept more silence, and he saith. Okay, so he's speaking in the Hebrew tongue, and I got another scripture here for you to back up the fact that Yahushua spoke in the Hebrew tongue as well. And if you go into the New Living Translation, for some reason it says Aramaic, which I'm not sure if that is incorrect, but the KJV version is the version that we subscribe to, and we most of the time read out of. Acts chapter 26, verse 14 reads, "And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me," and this is Paul again, but only when his name was Saul, and his name wasn't changed as of yet. Reading on, "And saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecute thou me?" Or "Why persecutest thou me?" Slakia. "It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks." Okay, and let me read that again. Acts chapter 26, verse 14, "And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me, and saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks." And who's this speaking? It's going to be Yahushua. Okay, and even the some of the cities that were named in those ancient times and were even named in the Hebrew tongue. How do we know that? Well, let's go into Revelation chapter 9, verse 11. For it reads, "And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon." And I'm going to go into the Hebrew, Greek, and the Latin at the end, at the conclusion of my lesson, Slakia. And I'm going to bring out how backing up this particular lesson. Okay, another point in the book of Revelations, we're going to go in Revelation chapter 16, verse 16, for it reads, "And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon," which is very important. I mean, if you go into any type of I know that the Christian churches don't bring this out, but if you go into a lot of the apocalyptic books of today from different authors and different Christian authors, they're going to bring out that word Armageddon. And you don't even have you don't have to necessarily be a Christian to hear that word Armageddon. Okay, but I'm just going to end it on this because I always like to end my videos on a good note with some type of silver lining, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. So in other words, there is a happy ending. Even when Yahushua was crucified, there was a sign that was placed on the cross, and it was written in 3 different languages. Okay, now those 3 different languages were Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. How do we know that? You can go into John chapter 19, verse 20, and bear with me because I want to bring out another precept or verse, I should say. I think that it does mention it here. Let me see. Just a moment here. I have one already queued up here, but I wanted to double check. Perfect. Okay. Let me bring out this one first, and then I'm going to go into the other precept. John chapter 19, verse 20. or for reads this title, then read many of the Jews, for the place where Yahushua was crucified was nigh to the city, and it was written in Hebrew and Greek and Latin. Now you see that how it doesn't say Aramaic or Arabic, all right? Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. John chapter 19, verse 20. Also, which backs it up, is the book of Luke, chapter 23, verse 38. And a superscription also was written over him in the letters of Greek and Latin and Hebrew. This is the King of the Jews. All right, you see that? Okay, so I just wanted to bring that out. I didn't want to spark any confusion from my last lesson. So this is kind of a part 2 or a slash sequel to my last lesson. Okay, and I just wanted to share that. But hey, we're at the end of this thing. You see these articles coming out, and people are being made aware of the biblical truth surrounding Yahushua and his true how he truly looked while he walked on the face of the earth, how he truly looks now, and how he's going to look when he returns, and also the language that he spoke when he was on the planet and what language he's speaking now, as well as the language he's going to speak when he returns. Okay, and I just want to share that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua, who gives me the strength and the spirit to continue to strive and endure in these last days. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and on to the next video.